Fala galera, Xande do canal Xande Gamezone na área, trazendo mais um vídeo de Genshin Impact e um vídeo de história do jogo. Agora é um vídeo mais se você gosta de assistir, gosta de acompanhar o que eles trazem da história do jogo, beleza? Partindo pro vídeo, se diverte, vê o que você achou, se você achou interessante, se achou coisa demais, o que você achou aí? Deixa nos comentários, não se esqueça de se inscrever. Bora pro vídeo.
Good idea! Okay, let me think. Beto! Yep, you can definitely trust her. Right now, she should be down at the docks.
Today.
Beto, ahoy! Hey, look! Hi, Beto. Hi, Xinyan.
Xiangling, woman of the hour.
Oh, Beta was saying you and I should get ourselves on board sometime. Says the whole crew.
Seems like you three go way back. Oh, we really do. Beto and Xinyan are two of my oldest customers, and I've helped out in the...
That's the plan. Good music's meant for sharing.
Will do. But I came here today because I made it into the Masterful Chef's finals.
Sure, beats drinking on an empty stomach.
Oh, about time. I'm starving. Oh, man.
Oh, this food is too good for me to be soaking up the alcohol with.
These three seem to have a great time with each other.
The only thing is you've got 3 dishes here. Chicken fuyang, come and get it, and crystal shrimp, and they all taste...
Is refreshing?
When you spend all your time at sea, you don't have a lot of choice when it comes to food. Especially on the longer voyages, where first thing you want to do when you get back on dry land is dig into a nice hot...
That's the exact opposite of Ningguang's taste.
Oh, sure is. Beto's tastes are pretty similar to mine and Xiangli.
Ugh, Ningguang. I am sick of hearing that name. Our tastes couldn't be more different. You'll never find us eating the same bowl of...
But last time when you were chatting...
We're evenly matched. Guess that makes us equals. But I'm sorry, limp cabbage...
I hear ya. Steamed cabbage and broth might be...
So, Xinyan...
Well, not so much mild.
Exactly. This is some fine cooking.
Beat? Oomph? Beat and oomph.
Beat, yeah. You know it.
No, you're both completely right. I actually thought as much while I was cooking them. Even though this was a brand... Seems like she's found her muse. Does that mean music theory is Hey! Paimon didn't quite get the implication, but... Okay, I think I know what I... Great! So this went...
Don't hold back, just...
Well, I think so anyway.
I'll do my best.
All right, we'll leave you to it.
Xiangling, they both had pretty strong taste. That's a good point. Beto likes her greasy stir-fries, and Xinyan can really handle her spice. Now, who do we know whose tastes are on the mild side? Who? Oh, right! Makes sense! Who? Someone you just missed last time we were there. Huh? Oh, Paimon remembers! Will he definitely hear us saying his name, though? Okay, let's take turns shouting his name! Uh-huh. Do I need to do this, too? Hyman's going first! Ahem. Nothing. Let me try again. That's weird. Does he not? Wait, so let me get this straight. Well, not both actually. Just. Oh, right. Well, okay then.
You called?
Whoa! He actually came!
You spoke my name, did you not? When I make you a promise, I will...
Blink of an eye and poof! He's there! An Adeptus? Xiao, was it? I've made it into the finals of this year's Masterful Chefs, and I'm testing some dishes out.
Customers. And that includes me?
Uh-huh. The Traveler says you prefer mild food. Just the kind of person I'm looking for. If you don't mind, I'd like you to...
Since it's you, I will do it.
Yay! How is it?
Tastes pretty good.
Huh? I can't believe it. An Adeptus says he likes my cooking. If my dad...
You excel in the culinary arts. I'm reminded of another... That chef cooks dishes with soul, as do you. Both of you...
Who do you think he means? Smiley Yancho?
If I had to find fault with something, the two sides are a little strong for my taste. Some minor... Just my own opinion. Do not fixate on it. Take it or leave it.
All right, go easy on the sides. Thank you, Adeptus friend. It was really great to...
I'll be leaving now. See you next time.
Paimon still can't believe he actually... So, what would happen if we... kinda maybe... Good news! After 2 rounds of... Great! Lucky we picked the right people. I better head back and try this out a few times while it's fresh and... Oh, and the final is in Eugene Terrace. Will do! Good luck! Let's head to the competition venue. It should be starting soon. Ooh, Paimon's so excited!
Welcome, everyone, to the Masterful Chef's Final. At the appointment of this organizing committee, I am your host and officiator.
Hey, Yanfei's here too!
This event is brought to you by the Liyue Qixing in collaboration with a number of participating enterprises. We saw many contestants from all over Liyue in the selections process. In just a few short moments, the finals will take place. As the officiator, it is my honor and privilege to represent the organizing committee. Next, please allow me to introduce the judges. There will be the Tianquan, Lady Ningguang, the Yuheng, Lady Kuch, and last but not least, gourmet connoisseur, Uncle Tian. In addition to these 3, 10 judges will be chosen from among the audience. That makes a total of 13 judges with 13 votes between them. Each judge will vote for their preferred...
It's all...
And now, please join me in welcoming our 2 contestants into the arena. Come on out! To my left, a competition favorite down from Dihua. Life's harsh when you live on a marsh, but this kitchen ace will put us...
Whoa! Yanxiao made it into the finals too! But what's up with Yanxiao?
Huh? Oh.
And to my right, a stalwart of Liyue Harbor culinary scene, a little feisty with a whole lot of and her mysterious assistant, who knows who?
Paimon knows. It's... Hey, everybody! I'll do...
Contestants, please repeat.
As a finalist and...
As a finalist in...
And I, for my part, promise to uphold the principles of... Now, I will hand things over to the select panel.
Thank you all for being here today at the Masterful Chef. The organizers have chosen the theme for today's event. In that...
Of Earth and Waterborne. Just like the Feast of Bounteous Land. It's like surf and turf, but
The rules are simple. The one who receives the most votes wins. Well then,
Contestants will have 1 hour of cooking time available and may only use ingredients provided by the organizers in their dishes. Okay, without further ado, let the cooking commence.
time to pull out all the stops. Show everyone what you... Traveler, Paimon. Thanks for coming to support me. Light it up, light it up. First things first, get the stove on. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. Xiao thought the side should be milder, which makes sense to contrast with the main dish. And I guess that's what Xingyan meant. You gotta have on-beats and off-beats. But at the same time, you have to end on a high note. So I think I'll add a little sugar to the crystal shrimp just to bring the flavor up a notch. Triple-layered consomme is pretty bland to begin with, and I can't have two sides with the same texture. Luckily, the organizers have provided some very aromatic broth. It's just a little too gentle. Okay, this is where Beta was right. A pinch of salt should do the trick. Chili chicken is the main event. Can't afford to compromise too much here, but maybe some pepper will set it apart without alienating anybody. Huh? Oh, Yin-Xiao. He doesn't look so good. Ah, Guava!
Whoa, what's this? Hold up. Xiangling's mysterious assistant appears to be aiding her opponent. Judges, we knew in advance that Xiangling would be accompanied by a mysterious assistant, and the judges agreed that the two could be classed as one individual.
I take no issue with it. In any case, the assistant hasn't done...
No competition would be...
Please allow me to explain to our host. Prior to the competition, the judges reviewed both contestants, and we can comfortably confirm that neither side is participating. Xiangling is a highly accomplished chef, and her assistant is more like Xiangling prepares all of her own dishes herself. I appreciate everyone's concerns, but the mysterious assistant has now started cheerleading for Smiley. That's right! Guava's not really outside help. Guava just likes to watch people cook. I'm sure the only reason they... I give you all my word. I say that as someone who's eaten Yan Xiao's cooking at...
I see.
I have no objections.
The judges and the officiator accept this explanation.
Yan Xiao, are you...
I don't know what's wrong with me. I've never...
Take it easy.
Why my dad? That's a bit
Because that's what I do.
I guess I'll think of my mom then. Anyway, you should carry on.
Nothing's being held up.
Huh? Oh, right.
There you go. That's the attitude.
Yes. You're right. Thank you, Xiangling. And thanks to your... well, thanks.
Both contestants have now finished cooking. I would like to invite them to present their dishes to the judges for evaluation. We will proceed in the order that the contestants finished.
My dish is Jiyun chili chicken with sides of triple layered The theme is of earth and waterborne, which includes land and sea. My main dish, triple layered consomme, also uses the crystal shrimp is made from shrimps are a gift from the ocean.
Ooh, a strong delivery there.
My dish is Adeptus Temptation with a mint salad and golden shrimp balls. As Xiangling says, earth and water means Adeptus Temptation is a much-loved dish in Liyue. It's a complex dish with the mint salad is my first side. Cool golden shrimp balls is...
Paimon can smell it from all the...
Judges, please sample.
Very impressive.
Now, Xiangling has taken an interesting approach here. It's also a unique take on Jue.
This Adeptus Temptation is quite exceptional. The triple layer consomme is also...
Judges of the select panel, I will now ask you to consider your... Also, the organizing committee has selected to...
How are we not involved in this? What? Paimon has buckets of passion and oodles of pee-pee for all the chefs there are in the...
Thank you all for waiting. All votes have been received and counted, and the results have been returned to Ningguang. I now invite Ningguang to take the floor and announce the results of the Masterful Chef's finals.
It is my pleasure to announce that the... by a mere...
Wow! What? How is it so close?
Well, there it is.
It was a close contest, but we have a winner. Liyue, there can only be one winner, but the fact that this was a big thank you to all the audience for being here today, especially...
Thank you all for coming.
Please exit the venue in an...
Come on, let's go over and take... Looks like I won this time, Yen Xiao, but I'd still like...
Sure, I'll have a try. Truly exquisite.
This...
Well, just goes to show that you have a
No, you've got me all wrong. We're just a small neighborhood restaurant too, so I...
Is that right? Huh. I'd heard you'd gotten famous for your experimental approach to cooking and were all about fancy and exclusive foods. Never realized you'd done your time in a
The same goes for you. You can't work in an inn kitchen unless you know how to consistently...
You're the kind of competition I'm glad to have.
You got it. And...
All right, deal.
Traveler, Paimon! Thanks for coming. Don't even go there. Paimon's still... I can't believe it. You didn't get picked? Well, you will? Oh, the organizer said that Yen Xiao and I need to go register our delivery addresses. Apparently, they're gonna deliver an exclusive ingredients package in the prize money. I'll come find you guys after. Xiangling seems really looks like Kuching and Ningguang left already. As the organizers, they must have gone... Kuching, very...
Oh, you've...
Huh? Is everything okay?
Traveler, I have found my... In the competition, I voted for Smiley Yen Xiao.
So you're frustrated because you can't go back?
No, that's not it. As a judge, I had a duty to remain objective. Xiangling is my friend. So by rights, I should be... But, as you know, I voted based purely on my personal opinion.
It's no big deal. Just say it however comes naturally. Xiangling of all people isn't... Oh, hey, here you are.
Xiangling, there's something I need to tell you.
What is it?
My grandfather always said to me, in contests of food, always follow your heart. Which is to say that, of course, that was just my grandfather's opinion. So, despite the fact that I am your... well, maybe it was. I like golden shrimp.
You were acting so serious that I honestly thought something was up. It's fine.
Huh?
You voted for who you wanted to, and that's totally okay. In fact, so you made a point of telling me. Is that because you were... Didn't I say already? Seeking reassurance is what... You have a strong sense of responsibility, Kuching. You know that's what Ningguang's like, right? Beto's always telling me about how well she gets along with Ningguang. They even play... So you see, Ningguang's kind of bold in that she doesn't...
Traveler. Xiangling. Anyway, what are we standing around here for?
Oh, yeah! How strange. This doesn't make any sense. Does this mean the competition was...
Oh well. I suppose it...
Yeah! We've waited this long, right, Xiangling? Yup, there's still time. Let's... On another note, I have some good news for you, Kuching. Things are looking... Master came by before the competition and filled in the... In fact, I'll go find somewhere to make it right now.
Xiangling.
Oh, and Trav... Huh? You only just beat Smiley. Obviously not what I... You collect recipes, don't you? I thought you'd probably be needing this dish. Oh, right! Paimon knew that. Huh? Jeez, careful eating your words so fast. You'll give yourself heartburn.
What are you staring at me for?
Action guaranteed. A trail tiger fan or success. Is it time for some...
Traveler and I made one each.
Thank you.
What is it?
This flavor. Apology, Xiangling, Traveler. Thank you. It tastes wonderful and quite amazingly. Somehow.
Really? I didn't have a chance to fully explain before. In fact, when Master had filled in the missing parts of the recipe... You already knew? You mean you were able to... Uh-huh. My dad taught me how to make... Wait! But isn't this dish from Kuching's grandpa's
About that. I do not believe that this recipe was my grandfather was a well-known real estate tycoon in Liyue, and also a scholar. He was an avid... As a child, I used to spend a lot of time with him in his study. We'd read the classics. He used to say, books are just a bridge that bring us a little closer to history. It's up to those... Since then, my grandfather has passed on, and I've grown up to become a Chising. My views... For me, the name Rex Lapis is inextricably wound up with memories of my grandfather. As I said earlier, this recipe came... Still, each time he tried cooking it, he'd always get me to have a taste while it was still warm.
Ancient dish? Are cornbread buns... Well, at least in my family it is. My dad learned how to make it from his dad. We call them chili mince cornbread buns. They're a traditional folk food snack. Seeing Guoba just reminded me of something. I actually made this dish on the day I first...
How did you first meet?
It was in a cave in the mountains. I ducked inside to get out of the rain and saw an offering table in there, so I put the cornbread bun. Then I ended up falling asleep, and when I woke up, I found out that Guoba had eaten every last one. Guoba followed me around ever since. Hold up! Stop the conversation! Look! The stone! It burst open!
It's...
Guoba? What are you...
Ah, I see the chili mince cornbread buns have been
Master! Granny, look! The stove god statue looks...
Oh, indeed it does. After all, Guoba is the deity you've been searching for. God of the stove.
Guoba is a god?
You asked me if a sufficiently festive atmosphere would be enough to reawaken the stove god. And my answer is this. Yes. And no. The stove god has always been a deity with great affection for the people, and who acts in response to their desires. Passion can be a technique, a skill, something derived from experience. But desires, they are deeper, more innate. Masterful chefs is wonderfully exciting, but it is more an exercise of passion than of desire. But just now, when Kuching ate this dish she had longed for, a deeply held desire was fulfilled, as well as received. The enormous power unleashed by the fulfillment of this desire resonated with the stove god's statue. Of course, the stove god himself is not contained within the statue. The true stove god has been here with us all along. How does it feel, seeing a statue of yourself from your glory days? Look at him. Still so majestic.
Glory days? Wait, what happened? Did Guoba used to be different from now?
Oh, yes. Back in his day, your Guoba was once the patron god of the soil. But all the wisdom and power he had then, he had...
A god surrendering their power to the soil.
The kinds of trials and tribulations that a land can face are far more than you could imagine. The threat of disaster will never fully disappear from Liyue. Even woes that have never been faced before in history will come to pass in the future. Such things affect you mortals far. He once walked with you over the barren plains until you arrived at last at the harbor. He joined. It was his hand that lit the very first street lamp of Liyue and brought the aroma of You mortals no longer remember him, But back in the age when you did, he was the Marchosius, god of the stove, born from a spark when stone struck stone. He was a god with a great love for humanity and their well-being. Millennia ago, the people sought to expand their city. They built a dwelling on the plains and called it the Guili Assembly. The stove god cared greatly for the people, turning himself into minions who went into every home, fostering food and solidarity alike. Alas, their home was taken by a flood. The waters ravaged the Guili Assembly and forced the people back south to Liyue Harbor. Though the distance was not far, the journey was plagued by a terrible storm. For a dozen days, the Adepti stayed by their side. During this time, the stove god cooked an ancient delicacy, flatbread with a meat sauce to stave off the cold and damp, fit for those on the move. Centuries later, disaster and plague arose once more. The stove god would appear no longer, for he placed all of his power into the land itself to quell the calamities. His power expended, and his wits greatly reduced. Thus his body decreased in size. By the time he parted ways with us, he wasn't even the height of a human. He told Rex Lapis and I of the dishes that bring joy and of the secrets of the flame, then went into the mountains and entered into a long slumber. The stove god departed, and Guoba was born. When he awoke, he ate the chili mince cornbread buns placed on the offering table by a young lady in yellow. Though he did not remember the past, he was profoundly moved and decided to follow this young lady thereafter. The stove god had quietly disappeared, but the vendors rose early to hawk their wares. People went out to buy goods, lit their stoves, and cooked food, just as they had done every day for as long as they could remember. In Liyue, things have always been this way. Nature provides, the mountains rejoice. We are blessed by heaven's good grace.
Years have gone by. The world has transformed, but our way of life survives.
Fame and fortune is only a season. It is the moment that we should embrace.
Past meets present. Heritage becomes legacy. Long into the future may we thrive.
You once told me that dining is the profoundest of customs in the human. It is a matter of paramount importance, you said. For people cannot face the arduous journey ahead on a humble meal of maize and spring water is also profound in that. My dear friend, Liyue has changed so much while you have slept.
Guoba, this is kind of a huge deal. Why didn't you say anything? He is not who he once was. Even the powers...
Oh.
Guoba, but...
Xiangling.
Do not be saddened, Xiangling. There are two sides to everything. Guoba may have lost many of his formal facts. In this world we inhabit, who can truly be said to live a life free of all woes? Those with a mind and with the knowledge will certainly be troubled by all manner of... But he has gone further than us in his journey. He had both wisdom and courage. Everything he took upon himself, he was also... So since you are his friend, take good care of him.
I will! You can...
Xiangling, You have an adeptal affinity. Guoba follows you around because he has respect for you. The moment he awoke, he was met with the familiar flavor in the chili mince cornbread buns he ate. After all that time, he still recognized the dish he had invented. And he approved of you as the one—
That's right. The taste of one's home cuisine always brings back memories of home.
You may be the first person in history to give the stove god the experience of being a satisfied customer. That makes—
If that's true, I couldn't be happier. Because putting a smile—
Well then, it's getting late and I still have things to do. Traveler, Paimon, Xiangling, thank you all very much.
I guess my dad's probably heard the good news already, but I should still go catch up with him. Matt, he thinks about you all the time, you know. He's—
Oh, goodness me. Then, far off we go then. Let's saunter over.
Hi, Dad! I'm back! Hey! Oh no! Guoba's taken off!
Oh, it's you. Hello there, old friend.
Oh, bless my soul. Are you out for a stroll as well?
Given the season, it felt fitting to take a leisurely walk while the meal is being prepared.
Quite right. And it also gave us the chance to run into you. Guoba may not recognize you, but as ever, he's—
So, Guoba doesn't remember anything? But can still—
Friendship will always withstand the ravages of time. Traveler, what do you think of the name of this festival? Moon. The moon is a carrier of countless emotions. So many things only seem to surface as we gaze up beneath its poignant glow. Fond memories of those no longer with us. Debts of gratitude to old friends. The meaning of ages past and gone. All wrapped up in the city. All these things and more. They are why—
In old age, the sight of many things puts one in a wistful mood. Such exuberant life force. It seems to well up from Traveler. This moon chase festival has been— Now, let's have Xiangling brew us a nice pot of tea. We shall drink—
Cheap and tasty chop suey!
We have to try the winning dish of this year's masterful chefs.
Save this money or invest it.
Prey upon the fallen tiger. Is it time for some moon chase specialties?
Everyone's here to eat.